for the Wolverines. 3-2 count for Bennett. Here's the pitch, and that's a little outside, so Peyton Kelly will find first base for the first batter. First walk for Regan Bennett.
I think that was a really impressive approach there. Mentioned building off of a career-best 351 from last season.
1-1 to Ditmar. Here's the pitch. We got a steal attempt here. Costales all the way down to McVeigh, and she's in time, so she'll be safe there at second base, showing she has wheels on second base. Riley Ditmar, team's best hitter at the plate. Payoff pitch, and a little low. Second walk given up already here in the top of the first inning for Regan Bennett. And quickly, we'll have a mound visit. And that is what Western Michigan is doing as Jordan Smith walks up to the plate. 2 on, no out. Bennett's first pitch, that gets away from Costales, and both runners will advance. So Peyton Kelly runs to third, Riley Ditmar runs to second. And
off speed, both of the last 2 batters on 3-2. Look for her to challenge with the fastball this time.
Full count, here's the payoff. And she puts that one up the middle. McVeigh goes to first. Now look for home plate. There's going to be no play there, so Peyton Kelly scores. It'll be an out with an RBI for Jordan Smith. Western Michigan on the board early, 1-0.
Right here.
So 1 out, runner on third. First pitch, that gets skied out to right field. Ella Stevens at the wall, and it's out of here. Home run for Tristan Head. And Western Michigan adds to its lead, 3-0.
What an aggressive first half inning from the Broncos. What an impressive run here to open the game, and just a total meltdown from the Michigan pitching staff.
Just in 3 1/3 inning pitch coming into the day, she had given up 3 earned runs, and walks were a big issue for her early in this season, coming in with 6. Obviously, almost walking the bases cannot help you as the off-speed finds the inside zone for strike number 3, looking to get out of the inning without allowing any more damage to ensue. The 0-2 pitch. Strike number 3, swing and a miss for Booth. So 2 strikeouts for Bennett here in the top of the first inning.
Where second base would play.
Pretty much in a linear line is the infield. Here's a 3-2, strike number 3. Langford swings right through that one, and Sawyer gets a quick strikeout here.
So she's back in her home stadium, feeling comfortable to see what she can do.
A 3-1 to Conway, and that's ball number 4. So really good piece of hitting there from Janisa Conway. But here's the payoff from Sawyer. And she grounds it right over the head of Booth, a third baseman. She'll find first base. Conway stops at second. Nice piece of hitting there by Ella Stevenson, the Wolverines.
Over 800, you're going to do great things.
She puts that one in center field. That's going to be a gapper. That's going to score 1. Conway rounds around third. Stevenson slides into third and slides into second. And she continues her dominant start to the season with an RBI double.
We talked about it the entire at-bat, and she delivered. Nothing more than off the wall, double to score a run. We'll take another look. A nice jump there, and an easy score to get Michigan's first run. And that's a really promising thing to see if you're a Big Ten fan and a Michigan fan.
Here's a 2-2 on the ground. Gets past the first baseman for a second, and they're going to call her safe. As Tristan Head, who had the home run in the first inning, makes a crucial error in the infield. That will score Stevenson, puts runs to third, and now you have Beamer on first. So runners on the corners for the Wolverines as we quickly see Tristan Head losing track of the ball. Here's the replay, and it really does appear that Beamer was safe at first. Good hustle there.
High home plate camera.
Tough angle here with that camera angle, but
and great work by our camera.
Really, you said it correctly, Ian. There was a slip there at first base where Tristan Head misses the base first.
Yeah.
They're going to actually overturn the call, so they're going to call Megan Beamer out at first base after review. Starting 30 games this season, second pitch in the dirt, and they're going to have a play at home. Putz comes in, she slides in safely, and a nice steal of home plate there by Lauren Putz.
That was beautiful base running.
tying this game at 3. Lauren Putz already with an RBI double a little bit earlier. She sees an advantage in a very, very nice slide, getting her hand in at the last minute, avoiding the 2-1. And she sends that right into left field. Peyton Kelly under that. She gets the third out of the inning. Nonetheless, the Michigan Wolverines roar back in the bottom of the first inning, notching this one up at 3.
Bennett was able to.
Full count, here's the pitch, outside, ball 4. So Riley O'Brien will take first base. And in back-to-back innings, New Michigan pitchers walk the first batter they face. 5 starts, she's 19 for 63 on the season with 1 home run, 8 RBIs. She looks to bunt. This goes right to the catcher, Costales, on to first in time, but there's no one covering third base. And O'Brien is able to advance from first to third. Indiana Langford comes. Here's the pitch. Puts it on the ground to third. Checked back as Erickson. Now gets it onto first for the force out to Putz. And it'll keep O'Brien at bay. So a nice play there by Maddie Erickson at third base. Back up to the plate. She walked in her first plate appearance. Back down to Erickson. Erickson has an easy play to first for out number 3 in the Wolverines. Despite fighting off an early walk, get out of the inning scot-free. 3-3 remains your score. You're listening to Big Ten.
As much of a hitter, but to hurry, turn over the lineup.
Hey, one. And it's going to go into the gap of left field. Erickson turning first. She's going to slide at second at the play in second, and she gets tagged out. Really nice relay throw there. Peyton Kelly to Teague, and Teague gets the tag on Matt.
Nice defensive play by the Western Michigan outfield and infield working together to throw her out by a good 3 or 4 steps. I mean, an area where she almost hit the ball too hard.
Teammates around her. Here's the pitch. That gets put on the ground to the third baseman, and that's in time for out number 2. Nice play there by the third baseman, Michaela Booth, to fire that one to Tristan Head. Now jumped up after Michigan's first inning, looking to bring that one back down. Here's the even count, and she gets a nice piece of hitting there down the left field line. It'll be a base hit for Ella McVeigh. Peyton Kelly gets into the infield, but McVeigh on the day. Now she's a runner on first, 2 outs, 1-0 the count. Puts down a really nice bunt. Booth throws to no one at first base. Wolverine players rounding third and second, as now they're going to get halted. Another errant throws to get past Booth. Wolverine runners will stay at, so Janisa Conway back up to the plate, 2 runners on, 2 outs. She swings the first pitch she sees. Ditmar there for the infield fly for out number 3. So the Wolverines make things interesting, bottom of the second, but cannot cash in.
But worked through it, got good defensive plays, let her defense make plays, and didn't allow a run.
2-0, that's put on the ground. Langford makes a nice play at second base for out. Here's the 1-1. That's going to go over the center field. Walling out of here. Home run for Jordan Smith. There was Cadu. One was pieced. 5 field wall.
Rocket to center field. We'll take another look here. Right down the middle and right off of our camera stand, center field. Just there is.
Steps up for play at first. Putz, Maddie hops. Top of the third inning, 2 outs. Second pitch to Merrill. Into left field. Ellie Sealer is there though for out number 3. Western Michigan using the home ball to take 4 here.
You're ready. And Steve feel it'll get to the wall. This one will get down for a double as she slides into second safely. A Rollins 430 on the year. And the first pitch. Swings and rocks one to right field. Way out of here. probably 250 halfway up the bleachers and right. She'll round the bases with ease and give the Wolverines the lead 5-4. What a hit there from Lauren Putz. A 2-run shot well up into the bleachers in right field. We'll take a look here, just swinging away, and she knew it. The felt the sky, and the Wolverines jump back out in front. We've got an exciting ball game here in Ann Arbor. Up until that blast has kept the Broncos in front. The 2-0 swing and a misplay by the second baseman, Riley Dittmar, the leading hitter for the Broncos, missed line as the home run was quite exciting. The 1-1, a nice bunt attempt here, converging. This time they field it, but third base is going to get Sealer. The throw to first was late, but the bunt coverage in place this time for the lead runner. Sealer still standing on third. We'll take a look at the replay. You see here the throw to the throw to third then, and a bang play. Tag on the helmet can always be a little bit of a tricky one.
Yeah, that was a really close play.
And the call on the field stands as called. The runner is out at third base, sort of what we had seen. 1-0. Daly Ferguson, who swings and grounds it to the shortstop. Teague on to first base for the out. The Broncos stop the bleeding, but the damage is done. The Wolverines are back in front 5-4, and after 3 complete is Michigan. We'll have more information in a little bit, but there's some great resources out there for all the Wolverine fans online.
3-1 pitch inside, ball number 4. So Booth, following up an 0-for-1 appearance in her first time up, the strikeout, gets on base with the walk. For the
support student media.
Always very helpful for these broadcasts. As bunt puts put down, quick play at first as Indy Langford helps make the force. But Emily Yacapraro, who came in as a pinch runner for Michaela Booth, was able to advance to second with no throw. Teague out. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Big pitch there by Haley Ferguson to keep the runner at bay on second. And now with 2 outs.
A long ball. Either way, pop in the bat. She squares.
Here's a 2-2 pitch. Strike 3. Nice off speed there by Haley Ferguson, sending 9. 3-1 pitch. Low for ball number 4. Ella McVeigh making the most of her plate opportunities with a single and now a walk. And the Wolverines get a leadoff base runner here. And so runner on. Bunt gets put on by Indy Langford. She's going to try to beat it out, and I believe she did. Indy Langford putting on the wheels, reaching safely at first. McVeigh goes to second. Nice. Too many games that have been very close this late. As quick pitch goes right to Fazzini. That hits off of her, and I believe Conway's going to be safe at first. So Casey Fazzini caught one off of her shoulder, ricocheted right to the second. Looking to make it 3 for 3. Here's the pitch to her. Swings at the first pitch, but that just skied in the infield. And Dittmar makes the play in the infield for out number 1. So Stevenson got caught just a little too in front. Punch not budging though. 3-1, walk wood plate, a run. Here's the pitch, and she skies that to left field. Kelly under it. Wolverines look to tag, now go back, retreat. Good throw by Peyton Kelly, keeping the Wolverine runners where they are. Outs to 3-0 count to Megan Beamer. Here's a 3-0, and that's high and outside, ball 4. So Fazzini able to put the Wolverines 3 and 4 hitters back on the bench, but Megan Beamer breaks that, and she plates an RBI walk and increases Michigan's lead 6. Made a nice throw to prevent a run a little earlier as Sealer skies one potentially over the heads of the infielder. She'll plate 1. She's going to plate 2. She gets caught in the middle of the base path but retreats back to first. No one's there. Ellie Sealer, 2 RBI single. Runners on the corners for the Wolverines.
A very aggressive turn there as well by Sealer. Almost got maybe 2/3 of the way to second base before hustling back, but the there was no one covering first base. You see here, she gave it a slide there, gave it a dive, and Seeler leaves the frame. She was almost a second.
At first base, and Fazzini was not there to cover. Plating 2, runners in the corners, 1-0 pitch. That gets past the shortstop, and that'll plate another one for the Wolverines. Maddie Erickson adding to the fun, and the Wolverines now lead 8-4 in the bottom of the 4th inning, or to lead 9-4. As Regan Bennett sees the first pitch, that's going out to center field, but Wolf is under that one for the 3rd out of the inning. And the Wolverines' 4-run inning will stop right there.
Been playing today, and we'll see what she can do.
And she'll be pitching to a new catcher as Kara Kaburu comes in for Ava Costales. First pitch hits the batter, though. Peyton Kelly gets one off her foot, so she'll take first base. Short period of time, Western Michigan with 3 plated in the first. Here's a 3-2. That gets Sky to Maddie Erickson at third base, and she makes a play for out number 1.
That was a nice fundamental play by Maddie Erickson. Difficult to see with the
closed.
I do remember that. I do remember that. Yeah, it has turned into a beautiful but still
really
windy day today.
But there are 20-mile-an-hour winds blowing right at us. Here's a 2-2 pitch on the way. Strike number 3, Jordan Smith way out in front as Kat Myers gets the breaking ball. So 2-0 the count for Kat Myers in the circle. Here's the pitch. That goes to the shortstop. McVeigh gets the force out at second base for out number 3 in the Wolverines strand 1 and retain its lead 9-4. Working back from a 3-0 now to a 3-2. Here's the payoff, and she slaps a 1-2 Teague at shortstop just in time for out number 1. CeCe Thorington can't believe it, but a really, really good play there by Teague at shortstop, and she fired that one in there. Line, Tristan Head stretching all the way out there. And again, it's so close.
I think she might have a case.
She may. Now looking at it again, just that stretch by CeCe Thorington. It's hard to tell if the ball is in. The answer on the field. And with the cheering, CeCe Thorington is. Here's a 3-0 pitch. And that's ball 4. So Alakwa just looks at 4 pitches go right by her. And quickly, CeCe Thorington and Janelle Aqua, who just entered the game. But it could have gone very differently if Conway sized that one up.
If Conway sized that one up, we'd be at the end of the game right now.
3-1 to Conway. She gets that by the second baseman for a single. Wolverines halt all their runners at bay, though, as CeCe Thorington decides to stay at third and set themselves down 4-3 earlier in the contest, now becoming more and more apparent. Here's a 3-1, breaking ball too low, and Fantucci does her job. RBI walk for Avery Fantucci, plates another. Wolverines lead now 10-4.
And now you're looking at
one more batter. Here's a 3-1, and that's inside for ball 4. So Andy Dirks follows up Avery Fantucci, back-to-back walks. And now you're just really seeing these Broncos pitchers running out of gas. If you just look at the 0-2 on the day for Beamer. Here's the 1-0. That gets popped up in the infield. Booth under that one. For right now, Western Michigan finally gets an out in the inning, continuing this game.
Even a high chopping ground ball.
Here's the 1-2 to Alette. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So Jenna Alette went up aggressive, swings through 2 pitches, and just like that, the Wolverines. Here's the 2-2, and she makes contact left center field, but on the run is Taylor Wolf to make the play, and we continue on here in Carroll Hutchins Stadium. Wolverines 11, Western Michigan 4, but 8 emptying her bench. Get to that in just a second as the first pitch by Myers gets skied up to the first baseman. Now the second baseman, Alakwa, for out number 1. Alakwa calling off Dirks for out number 1.
Even worse conditions, even colder conditions for some of these events.
Here's a 3-2, strike number 3. Nice breaking ball there by Kat Myers. Getting the second out of the inning. It's funny you say that, Ian, because you talk about that. Wow. Actually, I didn't know that. That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Here's a 2-2 to Malarczyk. Strike number 3. Nice pitching there by Kat Myers, getting out of the inning without allowing a base runner. And the Wolverines will have another chance at the run rule. So Riley Karakaburu, the senior catcher, first pitch she sees, she skies one over the right field, and it's out of here! Riley Karakaburu with the 8th run, and that will do it, folks. Just one hit coming into the day on 4 plate appearances, but she got all of that one, sending it over Malart, and that will end it here in Ann Arbor as the Wolverines run rule the Western Michigan Broncos for a 3rd straight time, winning 12-4 here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
You take a look at the final statistics from today. 4 runs, 2 hits, 2 errors for the Broncos, and for Michigan, 12 runs, those 16, count them. 16 you can't because you don't have enough digits, and 0 errors. What a showing today by the Michigan offense. Everything we had hoped for and more, and here we will look again into right center field. You can see the fans jumping for joy out in the bleachers as Karakaburu sends the Wolverines home happy.